That's awesome.
Well, good afternoon, Liberty Heights. I am joined by the one and only Miss Leah Pascal. You say hi, Leah.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
I was just sharing with her my excitement with the Kuntzes yesterday. Not to bring it up again. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, then I'm sorry, and I'm glad that you didn't get a chance to watch it. It's my misspeak. Oh my goodness, crazy. When you talk all this time, you're eventually going to say something that is going to be embarrassing along the way. My birthday was quarantined. Thank you for asking, though. No, I mean we had a good time. Heidi made me a flourless chocolate cake that was amazing. She used the Instapot, and it was really really good. She had never made it before. I was nervous, and you know that Instapot, you cook all the spaghetti sauce and Mexican in it, and sometimes that can get real gross. If you try to cook something sweet, but it was really really
Yeah,
good,
good.
really really good. Yep. Anything new with you this week, Leah?
Not really. It's hard really to do something too new, right?
Yes.
Because we're all so limited right now. But but no, it's been good. John's been working from home, and I've been. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of my writing friends are free. They have all this free
Yeah.
time now, so I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's been a lot of fun, and um,
Filling your time up.
just filling time up, and yeah, so it's all been really good.
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually been kind of a restful time, and as I've talked with a lot of my friends, they're kind of saying the same thing, and I think it's different for everybody, but I know for me and John, it's just kind of been a time to kind of quiet our hearts a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Uh, there's been some really sweet moments and some
Yeah.
sweet times that I think are coming out of this unexpectedly. So
Yeah. That's wonderful. One
yeah.
of the things that I feel like I keep talking about with both people on here and just Heidi and I discussing, and friends discussing it, and my life group discussing it, is this concept of what we're learning more in this season than anything else is just this idea of surrender. We didn't have a choice in a lot of the surrender and a lot of things that we're trying to up. But it's almost like the more that we surrender, the more we give up these busy schedules and all these commitments that we're running around like crazy, the more we're finding opportunities to settle and just take a breath, and enjoy family, and enjoy friends, and be able to engage with some neighbors from a safe distance, and do things for our community that we typically wouldn't have time to do. And so I want to talk a little bit just about that concept. So not only in the pandemic are we forced to surrender, but as we give stuff up that we're holding tight to, the plans that we have made, all this stuff, and put Jesus more in the middle of everything as our focus in life, and as we surrender more to Him, how that plays out in our life, and kind of what that concept happens. That Leah has written a song called Center. How long ago did you write this song, Leah?
Let's see. It was last fall.
Okay. I thought it was a while ago. You want to talk a little bit just about where it came from and what that concept means to you?
Yeah, I wrote it with a friend of mine, Rachel Barentine, and we wanted to write a song about surrender. And interestingly, what we were talking about was distraction.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions, um, big and small, that keep us just from spending time with the Lord.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we were talking about as we were writing is just, Lord, just we just want to lay all these distractions at your feet, and just give me Jesus.
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
just give me Jesus is what we kept saying to each other, and that's kind of where this was born out of. And as I think about the coronavirus and everything, you talk about distraction. This is one of the biggest distractions,
Yes.
ever. It's everywhere. It's
Yeah.
in the news. It's in our minds. It's what everybody's talking about right now. And so just being able to look at that
Yeah.
and say, so this song has really been, as I was telling you earlier, this has really been on my heart more than anything, even in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Um, you were, talking about people just kind of coming back to this idea of surrender through all of this, and even doing this is my story. and remembering and reflecting on that time when I first became a Christian, and everything, that's kind of made me think of this song again and kind of stir that all up in my heart. But this is, I tell you, this is a great time to identify the idols in your life.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. So, so yeah, that's where this came from.
That's so good. Well, I want to share that song with you guys. After we get done sharing it, I'm actually going to share a story from one of you that shared on social media. They're going to do some more songs about surrender, give you a chance to sing with us. So this is Center. Leah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep.
I appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you soon. Can't wait till we
Great.
can be in the same room and do this together.
Sounds great.
All right, this is
All right.
Center, guys. Thanks, Leah.
I wanna sit in the silence, quiet my heart for a moment. Let the distractions fall at your feet. Just give me Jesus. Come be the center, all that I'm after. Come be the center of my life. Come be the center, Lord, I surrender. Come be the center of my life. You are my love and my longing. Everything else leaves me wanting. Here in your presence, I'm satisfied. Oh, just give me Jesus. Come be the center, all that I'm after. Come be the center of my life. Come be the center, Lord, I surrender. Come be the center of my life. Lord, I give you all that I am. My whole world from beginning to end. You are my hope and strength. Jesus, come have your way. Come be the center, all that I'm after. Come be the center of my life. Come be the center, Lord, I surrender. Come be the center of my life. Oh, come be the center of my life. Oh, come be the center of my life.
In him, all things come together. We find everything that we need in Jesus. And so that the more we surrender all this stuff to him, the more we can find that peace. And one of the things, as Leah mentioned, as we listen to all of the stories that have come in, and we just continue finding more of them as we dig through social media and just celebrate what happens when somebody lays their life down and dies to themselves, and how they find new life that they have been trying to find and trying to fill a void by using all of these other things, whether it be relationships or jobs or all the goals of life that you have, or checking the perfect boxes. As they finally lay all that down and recognize that they have nothing to gain that they can grasp on their own, and all that they really truly have is Jesus, how they are set free. And so we're going to take just another minute and share one of the stories that were shared over Easter, and then we're going to sing some songs about rescue and surrender. All right, Nikki McHale's story from the This Is My Story movement for Easter.
Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. Easter is actually my favorite holiday because it reminds me of God's grace and love in my story. I didn't have a relationship with Jesus at a young age. I had a home church and I knew the gospel from a young age, but I kind of floated in and out of my home church based off of which of my friends were going there and who was going to be there on what day. I experienced some hard things as a young kid, and so as a teenager, I rebelled and I hurt a lot of people because I was hurting. I was driven by anxiety and fear, and I looked to other people for my approval and my acceptance. I wanted someone to tell me that it was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. If you follow the plot of my story, you'll see a lot of broken relationships and a lot of hurt people because I was hurting. And with every action, I just felt like my heart was calling out for someone to calm my fears and my anxieties. And the crazy thing is that through all of those rebellious years, I felt God pursuing my heart. I knew He was after my heart, and I was running from Him and everything that I thought He was asking of me. I looked everywhere else for acceptance and peace, and I had a lot of painful teenage years. Finally, at the age of 20, I couldn't hold my life together anymore. The places I had looked to for acceptance and peace had failed me, and I knew I needed Jesus' grace and forgiveness in my life. When I was driving in my car on the interstate, I gave my life to Jesus, and I asked Him to forgive my sins. I remember praying, Lord, I can't do this anymore. I can't hold my broken together anymore. I can't calm my fears and anxieties. I need you. And He met me there in my car on the road. I remember feeling overwhelmed with peace, forgiveness, and love, and I just cried. I cried that I was forgiven instantly for every sin and that His grace covered every bad decision that I had made. I can't say it was instantly an easy road after that. It was hard. I had made a lot of bad choices that had consequences, and I had hurt a lot of people that I loved dearly. But He was faithful to redeem my life, and by His grace, redeem my broken relationships with my family, who I had hurt dearly with my choices that I had made. He's turned my fears and anxieties into a desire to rest on His promises. And when I feel anxiety rise in me now, I turn to His word and His promises and His unconditional love for me. And when instead of seeking approval and love from other people, I rest in His unconditional love for me. My life isn't perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, and it's not always easy. Adam and I have walked through a lot of really hard places. But now my life is filled with the hope of Jesus, and that is unchanging no matter what I'm walking through. That's what I cling to now. When I look back to who I was 20 years ago and the road that God has led me on, I can clearly see the hope and redemption that He wove throughout my story. He didn't leave me like I used to be. He created me new, and I can see a life full of His forgivenesses and His promises to me through every mountain and every valley that I've ever walked through. If you're watching this today and you don't know what I'm talking about, or you don't know the gospel and hope we have in Jesus, send me a text or give me a call or a message. I'd love to talk more with you. Happy Easter!
Hey, man. It's so good. Maybe you've been walking with Jesus for a long time and you forgot the freshness of that story, and it's been a while since you've thought about it. Or maybe you have never encountered Christ. You've encountered religion, you've encountered church, but you have missed the beauty of a true relationship with Jesus, where you are truly set free and experienced His true joy, His true peace. We can pursue a lot of things, and sometimes they can be really good things. But if we miss out on Jesus, the one that gives us freedom to boast in our weakness, the one that rescues us from situations that appear to be impossible, that's Jesus. That's following Christ. It's not attending a church service in a building. However, that's a good thing. I love the body of Christ, and I cannot wait until we can do it together again in person. There's so much more to walking with Christ and walking into fellowship with other believers. It goes far beyond that Sunday experience. So let's spend some time maybe reminding ourselves of the time we were rescued. But even that this could be a prayer for you, saying, I need you, Jesus, the real Jesus, not religion, but something that can radically change the trajectory of my life forever. And it all starts with surrender. Let's sing this older song together. You are the source of life, and I can't be left behind. No one else will take hold of you. Tell him, I need you, Jesus, to come to my rescue. Where else can I go? There's no other name by which I am saved. Oh, you capture me with grace. And we respond, I will follow you. Sing, my heart is yours, my heart is yours. For life, and I need your hand in mine, no one else will do. Tell him I put my trust in you. I put my trust in you. I need you. I need you, Jesus, to come to my rescue. Where else can I go? There's no other name by which I am saved. Capture me with grace. I will follow you, 'cause this world has nothing for me. Tell him, I will follow you. This world has nothing for me. I will follow you. This world has nothing for me. I will follow you. This world has nothing for me. It's I need you, Jesus, to come to my rescue. Where else can I go? There's no other name by which I am saved. Capture me with grace. I will follow you. I will follow you. And that all starts with that act of surrender. Let's sing this old hymn together. Sing all to Jesus, I surrender. All to him I freely give. I will ever love and trust him. In his presence daily live. I surrender. Oh, I surrender all. I surrender all. Sing all to thee. Oh, to thee, my blessed Savior, I surrender all. Let's do one more. All to Jesus. Oh, to Jesus I surrender. Lord, I give. Lord, I give myself to thee. Fill me with thy love and power, with thy blessings for me. I surrender all. Oh, I surrender That's what I'm praying. I learn to grow in more, that you learn to grow in more, that we would give up more of the things that we hold tight to. The only thing we need tied to is Jesus and all the things that he has told us. His ways are much higher than ours, and we just need to trust him. When he says that we don't need to fear, we don't need to fear. When he says we need to praise, then we probably need to praise. The more time that we spend recognizing how big he is and how small we are, the more that we can not worry about all this other stuff and represent him to the world and share the power of the gospel, all these things that he has done for us. I can't wait to share more of these stories like Nikki's with you over the next coming weeks. I can't wait until we can all come back together again and share them live and in person. It's going to be a great day. But again, until then, I'm thankful for this time with you. We'll see you again soon. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.